Okay, welcome back to this lesson. Now we're going to look at a little bit more complicated fractions that are algebraic fractions that we're going to add. So maybe before we start, we're going to look back on adding fractions, right? And the key idea here, is to make your denominator the same. And when you make the denominator the same, we only do one thing, which is to multiply values. So what I'm going to show you here is what we have here is actually our denominator is x minus 5 and x minus 3. Okay, you cannot add value to the denominators, okay, to try to make the denominators the same. But what you can do is actually multiply, and in this case it's pretty hard to multiply, right? But what I'm going to show you right here is a very simple example that will show you what's happening. So if I have half and plus 1/3, what you usually do is you would take you multiply 3 to the both sides of the numerator here and multiply 2 to both sides of the numerator here. Now in this way, can you see that what I'm doing here is very simple? I am trying to make the denominators the same by multiplying the denominators together. So there is one way for you to address this question. So this question with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply x minus 3 to the first fraction, and what I'll have at the bottom will be x plus 5 times x minus 3. Okay, so this process is quite similar to what we did just now, and this one as well. I'm going to multiply x plus 5 to 1, and our denominator would be x minus 3 times x plus 5. Can you see what's happening here? Okay, so with this, let's make it. Once you have the same, you can combine them together, right? You just add the numerators together once your denominators are the same. So we have 3x minus 9 plus, in this case there's no need to, we can remove the bracket because it's just plus. So in this case we will have such an answer: x plus 5 times x minus 3. If you realize I don't expand it unnecessarily, because the question didn't ask you to expand, actually just ask you to write in the simplest form you can add. You can write it in. So in this case the answer is 4x minus 4 divided by x plus 5 over x minus 3. So that is your first answer. You may actually want to write this as 4 times of x minus 1 over x plus 5, okay, over x minus 3, and that we will also accept it because it's technically also the simplest form, so that's not really much of a concern here. Okay, so the first, in part A, what we're actually looking for when you address such questions is, number one, you want to multiply denominators together, okay, to kind of ensure that your denominators is the same. Alright, so that is the first part. So the second one we have is a little bit different. Okay, and one example I can give you using numbers is very simple. Okay, let's say we have half plus 1 over 6. Okay, if we use just now the idea, we're going to have 6 over 12 plus 2 over 12. Not of an issue, you can do this as well. Okay, but in this case, there's also another way to do this, which is, number one, I'm not going to kind of multiply the denominators together. I'm actually going to raise one of the denominators, okay, to match the other one. So I have 3 over 6 plus 1 over 6. You see, I only convert this fraction, and that's all I need to do. And that's what we're going to do for such questions, if you have this over here, we're going to use your a square minus b square formula, which is actually in fact equals to a plus b times a minus b. So what we have is that this denominator here, y square minus 4, okay, is in fact y plus 2 times y minus 2. Okay, so with this here, what we realize is, I actually don't need to multiply the denominators together. I can just raise one of the denominators to match the other denominator. So what I have is 5y divided by y plus 2 times y minus 2 minus 2 times of y plus 2 over this over here. So this over here is y plus 2 times y minus 2. Okay, maybe I should change the color to let you all see it better. This is y minus 2 times y plus 2. Okay, so now with it the same, let me tell you something here first. Do not try to expand it here. Why? Because of this minus sign. Remember, you can raise the minus sign upwards, right? So we're going to raise the minus sign towards the numerator. So I'll have 5y minus 2 times y plus 2. Now, this is where you need to be careful, because if you take for granted, you expand it and you forgot about this negative sign. This negative sign is pretty important. You're going to get a wrong answer. Okay, what do I mean? Okay, let me just show you the correct answer first. This is like that, right? Okay, but what's happened is if you do something like that, so just give an example here, you have 5y, let's expand it, minus 2y minus 4. No, plus 4, right? Correct? Okay, it's going to give you a false answer because you forget about the negative sign, right? When you're taking a minus sign, you're taking the entire thing on the left minus the entire thing on the right. Hence, that's why I have to not expand it first to ensure that the value stays the same. So I'll have 5y minus 2y minus 4. Can you see the difference between just now? Okay, and right now, actually at this stage, right, if you want to leave your answer as y squared minus 4, it's also possible. It's actually technically the simplest form. So in this case, you have 3y minus 4 divided by y squared minus 4. Okay, or you want to leave your answer here as 3y minus 4. You don't want to expand it back, it's also fine as well. Okay, it just give you y plus 2 times y minus 2 is also fine. Okay, what I have to say, do always take note of when there's a minus sign, you need to be careful. Okay, when the minus sign, remember your sign inside the bracket will change once you dissolve the brackets. Okay, so with that kind of wraps up work example 6 when we try to simplify more complicated algebraic fractions. So that will be all. Thank you very much.